What makes for a strong WWE return? Well, the return should make logical sense, and that return should feature a wrestler that fans are related to see back in the company. However, WWE have a toxic habit of delivering a completely random return, which ultimately leaves fans questioning what on earth is going on. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 of the most random WWE returns ever. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, Wrestlelamia Shorts. Number 10. The Headbangers. In 2016, WWE implemented their modern brand split, and due to SmackDown having their own set of tag titles, they needed to stack their tag division. One of the ways they achieved this was bringing back the Headbangers. This return came completely out of nowhere, and when it was initially reported on social media that the duo were returning to WWE, fans thought it was just some kind of joke. However, it wasn't a joke, as the former WWE Tag Team Champions returned to television and had a few matches on the Blue brand before disappearing entirely. Whilst the team were relatively popular during the Attitude Era, it was clear that most fans had no clue who they were, and less than enthusiastic reactions for both men were no doubt disappointing for the duo. During an interview with Wrestling Inc., Headbanger member Marsh would discuss how their 2016 return came about, and this is what they had to say. "I actually got a text from Road Dogg. He said, 'Are you guys available to do SmackDown Tuesday?' And I went, 'Yeah, that's funny. Who's this? Why are you ribbing me?' And then immediately after I sent that back, he called me, and they actually wanted us the week before, but we were up in Boston or wherever it is. The casino where you had to have blood work done, a physical, the whole 9 yards, so we wouldn't have had time to get that all done. So Brian said to me, 'I don't know if we're able to hold off this angle for another week, so I'll call you next weekend.' And I was like, okay. At this point, it had been 15 to 16 years since I've heard from anybody, and one of the things I've always wanted to do, my son at the time was 12, one of the things I wanted was for him to see me in an actual WWE ring, so they do a lot of house shows around there. I couldn't get on it. Number 9. Kane. Although Kane is one of the most iconic names in WWE, he had his fair share of bizarre and random returns. Most notably in 2017, Kane made his return to WWE television to feud with The Shield. Even though Kane had prior issues with each member of the respective group, Kane returned to team with The Miz, Braun Strowman and The Bar, and it looked rather humorous to see Kane working with this strange array of talent. There was an interesting fan theory floating around at the time that Kane had returned to avenge his brother The Undertaker. Roman Reigns had just defeated the Dead Man months prior to Kane's 2017 return, so it would have made for a compelling story arc to see Kane attempt to extract some revenge. Number 8. Tatanka. WrestleMania 32 featured the annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and fans were left shocked during the match when Michael Cole referenced the fact that Tatanka was in the match. Fans had zero idea that the former WWE star had made a return for the match, and it would have been nice to see Tatanka get his entrance aired during the show. The lackluster presentation of Tatanka quickly drew comparisons to the way WWE presented female legends at WrestleMania 25. During the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal, all the women came out as a collective unit, and fans didn't realize celebrated names were in the match until they were name dropped on commentary. Number 7. Dilo Brown. One of the more underrated stars of the Attitude Era was Dilo Brown. Dilo was a fantastic in-ring talent, and he's widely regarded as one of the most memorable European champions in company history. In 2008, Dilo made a surprise return to WWE, and whilst it was great to see him back on screen, it was a rather random return that didn't make a ton of sense. Dilo would win a total of 2 matches during his return run, making it clear that he returned to become an enhancement talent, and they had no meaningful storylines planned for the talented star. Number 6. The Big Show. The former WWE champion Big Show has had a habit throughout his career of making unexpected returns. The most random return of his career no doubt came in 2020 when he challenged new WWE champion Drew McIntyre immediately after the main event of WrestleMania 36. This was one of the most unusual matches ever delivered in WWE, and whilst it took place after WrestleMania 36, it aired the next night on Raw. This means that in theory, Big Show vs McIntyre was the real main event of Night 2 of WrestleMania 36. According to a report by PW Insider, the logic behind Big Show's WrestleMania return was to portray McIntyre as invincible. McIntyre defeated 2 legends in Brock Lesnar and Big Show in the space of 20 minutes, and now McIntyre was firmly in a position to carry WWE into the next few months. Number 5. Bob Backlund. Bob Backlund has been used in a number of roles during his career, and his 2016 role as Darren Young's life coach was the most unusual. Backlund's comeback was completely out of the blue, but the idea was evidently to try and get Young over. Backlund and Young would take part in various vignettes, but this did little to get Young over as fans were confused as to how they were supposed to react. On TV, the two had little chemistry together as it was an odd mix of talent. WWE had previously done something similar with Backlund and Kurt Angle in 2000, and this also had rather negative results. Number 4. Gangrel and Viscera. When JBL and The Undertaker storyline in 2004 was getting dull, WWE attempted to interject some life into the storyline by having a returning Gangrel and Viscera attack the dead man. It was explained that they were attacking their former Ministry of Darkness leader after being paid off by JBL. This led to Gangrel and Viscera having a handicap match against The Undertaker, which of course they lost. The two returns did have potential, however WWE handled them terribly. JBL was a former member of the Ministry, but they decided to outright ignore that element of the storyline. Not once was it mentioned or alluded to that JBL was in fact heavily linked to The Undertaker, Gangrel, and Viscera. From WWE's perspective, it may have been confusing to link the JBL character to a supernatural stable, but it was only 5 years prior, so the majority of the audience were fully aware of JBL's history with the sinister faction. Number 3. Legion of Doom. In May of 2003, the Legion of Doom made a surprise return to WWE programming. They would book LOD to take on Rob Van Dam and Kane, and the matchup was less than stellar. Hawk and Animal had always been notorious for not selling their opponents' moves, but in this particular match, they took it to the next level. When RVD hit the 5-star frog splash on Hawk to secure the win, Hawk sold the move for about half a second before exiting the ring. RVD's finishing move was one of the most protected moves in the company at this point, and every top star was selling it with conviction. Both Hawk and Animal hoped their 2003 return match would lead to another run in the company, but new contracts weren't offered by WWE, which wasn't exactly surprising. Number 2. Vader. The 2005 return of Vader was a return that nobody saw coming, especially because Vader returned to join forces with Jonathan Coachman. Vader would appear on Raw as a hired gun for Coach, and this didn't just dumbfound the fans, as even Jerry Lawler on commentary was questioning what on earth was taking place. Vader was set to be in Coach's corner for his match with Batista at Taboo Tuesday, and on paper the idea of Vader getting physical with Batista was extremely exciting, but upon execution it was clear that Vader's best days were long gone. And number 1. Nia Jax. Well, the Royal Rumble notoriously features random returns each and every year, and in the Women's Rumble in 2003, it featured a return that nobody could have anticipated. In one of the biggest botches in Rumble history, Nia Jax's theme song began to play before the timer had even started counting down. This led to a moment of sheer panic from everyone, and WWE had no choice but to ignore the countdown. Jax didn't have the best reputation with the fanbase, as she was prone to being unsafe and had made some controversial comments on social media. Following the random return, it seemed like they were going to move forward with offering Jax a new deal, but nothing ultimately came from this. She would discuss how her 2023 return came about during an appearance on Ring the Bella. I said to myself, if they call me, I'll say yes. That's if they call me. It was 2.5 weeks before the Rumble. I was in California at my mum's house. I wasn't expected to be back in Orlando or get in the ring. I didn't have any gear, nothing. I get a call from the office and they're just like, hey, we're planning to have you in the Rumble. What? Are you asking me or are you telling me? I was like, yeah, let's do this, let's go. Well, there you have it folks, 10 of the most random WWE returns ever. Be sure to leave your comments down below. I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.